Tropes infest every modern film, whether they acknowledge it or not. There's a basic formula to screenwriting that writers must follow in order for a film to be comprehensive and entertaining. And even with the advantage of limited run series, they still incorporate the three-act structure. To have character A reach destination B, C must happen, and these usually become staples for whatever genre the film is set in, such as horror victims splitting up and running straight into danger, to spies being betrayed by someone and suddenly finding themselves on the run, and so on. As critics, we love to point these out and make our jokes, and there's no better celebration than that of a parody film. Funny enough, parodies have even become a major part of the porn industry of all things. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 more of the best, most hilarious parody films. Number 1, Mars Attacks. Director Tim Burton's 1996 sci-fi comedy Mars Attacks was arguably his first film to disappoint audiences. After having such success with S-tier films like Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, as well as the two original Michael Keaton Batman films, Mars Attacks is not really on any of those films' caliber. Granted, the film was never supposed to be after all. Mars Attacks is far more lighthearted. There were rumors swirling that it was a spoof of Independence Day, but the similarities are more serendipitous, as the screenplay for Mars Attacks had been floating around for a while. Not to mention, production wrapped over a month before audiences saw ID4. Regardless, Mars Attacks is certainly an homage to the campy 1950s B films by the likes of Ed Wood, and functioned perhaps too well as one of them. Yes, it is schlocky, but very intentionally. Mars Attacks is exactly what it's set out to be. It also isn't without Burton's signature iconography of themes. The film sees aliens invade every major city with supposed intent to come in peace, and of course they are not. The film is over 25 years old, and audiences can just enjoy it for what it is, a silly and entertaining sci-fi throwback, which you can watch over on Prime, Google Play, or Fandango. Number 2, Galaxy Quest. 1999 sci-fi comedy Galaxy Quest received rave reviews from critics and praise from the audiences. Given no other context, the film is vastly entertaining with a stellar ensemble. Galaxy Quest has a crisp script chock full of chuckles and wit. It is also very sentimental under its silly, a love letter to Star Trek and its fans. Since humor and drama are counterpoints in terms of literary rhetoric, dramatic moments that exist in comedies are often far more impactful than that of a standard drama. Galaxy Quest nails this. The film stars sci-fi queen Sigourney Weaver, who rose to notoriety playing whip-smart badass Ellen Ripley in the Alien franchise. The ensemble also includes Alan Rickman, rest in peace, Tim Allen, Sam Rockwell, Tony Shalhoub, You Will Always Be Jeebs, and Daryl Mitchell. In Galaxy Quest, their characters were all part of a hit sci-fi series in the 70s called Protector, and many of them are unhappy with how their careers turned out. They are then abducted by aliens in need of aid who think their show is real. The casual moviegoer should enjoy Galaxy Quest and its sci-fi satire. The Trekkies will certainly appreciate it the most. You can stream it on Pluto, Prime, Google Play, or Fandango. Number 3, Spy Hard. The late comedic acting legend Leslie Nielsen leads the 1996 James Bond spoof Spy Hard. The film title is a riff on Die Hard, despite the film being more of a James Bond parody. The film was not entirely unlike Austin Powers, except lesser in most regards. Writers Aaron Seltzer and Jason Friedberg write their first spoof, and it's better than one would expect from them, considering they'd go on to almost single-handedly destroy the parody genre with the celluloid turds like epic movie and disaster movie. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate Spy Hard. When I first saw it when I was 8, I thought it was the funniest damn thing I'd ever seen. And let's face it, there are different degrees of spoofs, and since the antics are coming at you a mile a minute, not all land. Most actually do, it's just Spy Hard is disjointed. Luckily, Leslie Nielsen can work wonders with any material. Plus, musical parody king Weird Al Yankovic does the Bond-inspired theme song, which I have periodically gotten stuck in my head for the last 28 years. Spy Hard follows WD-40 Dick Steele. Okay, that's pretty funny. Played by Leslie Nielsen. He has to thwart General Rancer's, played by Andy Griffith, yes, that Andy Griffith, plans for world domination. Make sure to stream it on Google Play, Fandango, or Prime. Number 4, Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is Edgar Wright's second film in his brilliant Cornetto trilogy that reteams Simon Pegg and Nick Frost after their cult hit Shaun of the Dead. This time around, the crew is parodying the cop genre. The filmmakers run through the gamut of just about every cop movie and action film trope. That being said, Hot Fuzz is a smart, cohesive, and still functions as an effective action film, just as Shaun of the Dead functions as a pretty grisly zombie flick. Since Pegg and Frost are buddies in real life and prove to be a charismatic duo, that further bolsters how fun the film is. Simon Pegg plays Nicholas Angel, a dedicated London police officer reassigned to investigate a series of deaths in a suburb because he's so efficient that he's making the rest of the force look bad. Nick Frost stars alongside him as police constable Danny Butterman, a much less skilled officer who's given leeway because of his father's position. Hot Fuzz is more than an absolute blast, and you can check it out on Prime, Google Play, or Fandango. Number 5, Return of the Living Dead. The classic zombie lampooning film Return of the Living Dead was released in 1985, a mere month after George A. Romero had seemingly wrapped up his groundbreaking Living Dead saga that launched the modern zombies film. The screenwriter for the sci-fi horror classic Alien, Dan O'Bannon, based his 1985 film on the 1978 book Return of the Living Dead by John Russo. Russo was a co-writer for the original Romero classic 1968 film Night of the Living Dead. His book was essentially supposed to be an alternate timeline for a sequel for that film. O'Bannon, who had made his directorial debut with Return of the Living Dead, infused it with the campiness and made it its own universe. The film isn't a direct parody of Romero's films, but a spoof of the subgenre. It begins in a military medical facility that houses drums of toxic gas called trioxin. Foreman Frank and his rookie employee are goofing around. Frank busts open the drum, releasing the toxin, which reanimates a cadaver. One of the popular bits of zombie lore is that they eat brains. That was actually introduced in Return of the Living Dead. The film is highly entertaining with a plethora of farce and over-the-top dismemberment. Make sure to check it out on Tubi, Pluto, MGM+, Sling, Billo, Prime, Google Play, or Fandango. Number 6, Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein truly is one of the greatest parody films ever made. Part of what makes it so is that it stands on its own with an engaging story and endearing characters. If it lost the comedic elements, it would be a brilliant revisionist retelling of Mary Shelley's original classic novel, Frankenstein. Enough so that Young Frankenstein is credited as based on Shelley's incredible novel. The film follows Frederick Frankenstein, a physician who is the grandson of the legendary necromancer Victor Frankenstein, but is looking to distance himself from that legacy. Upon inheriting his family's castle in Transylvania, Frederick is interested in surveying the property. In it, he discovers his grandfather's research and realizes that bringing the dead back to life is possible. Mel Brooks crafts such an authentic spoof. It could be a direct sequel to the Universal horror classic Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. Brooks went as far as to film Young Frankenstein in black and white, a departure from standard high-profile 70s films, and even uses some of the old sets from the original film. He also had a brilliant cinematographer, Gerald Hirschfeld, who mimicked the German expressionist influenced lighting and mise-en-scene of the 1931 Frankenstein. The genius of Young Frankenstein is in the details. It feels as much of an homage to the original film as a razor-sharp parody. The humor comes from the absurdity of situations, added to what are the beats of the original film. Gene Wilder, a Brooks regular, is great at playing Frederick, straight with a dry wit. Aside from Marty Feldman's hilarious portrayal of Igor, the Reinfeld spoof, everyone plays it straight. Even Peter Boyle's, or Frank Barone for you Raymond fans, performance as Frankenstein's monster has pathos. Young Frankenstein has one of the best comedic ensembles ever. On that note, this film has brilliant comedic actresses in it, including another Brooks regular, Madeline Kahn, as well as Terry Garr and Cloris Leachman, hilarious landlady in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, and hilarious grandmother in the underappreciated Raising Hope. You can stream this masterpiece over on Prime. Number 7, Austin Powers. The Austin Powers series is arguably the definitive James Bond parody from skilled comedy character creator Mike Myers. Myers is an SNL alum who created other iconic characters like Wayne Campbell, the surfer-esque rock fan who hosts a public access show with his buddy Garth called Wayne's World. And we all know about that hit 1992 comedy based on the SNL skit. 1997's Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, was the first of the 3 Austin Powers films that permeated pop culture in the late 90s and early 2000s. The story revolves around Austin Powers, played by Myers, who is a highly skilled British Secret Service agent during the 60s, with bad teeth but loads of sexual charisma. He is frozen in the 60s and thawed out in the 90s because of the return of his arch nemesis, Dr. Evil, also played by Mike Myers. By the 90s, the original eras of James Bond that starred to Sean Connery, all the way to those with Roger Moore, were seen as antiquated, even campy. Even Pierce Brosnan's 1995 beloved seminal entry of 007 GoldenEye had to be redefined the franchise for the 90s, even critiquing Bond as a relic of the Cold War era. Austin Powers series is as much of an homage as it is a spoof. It works so well, not just because of its likable characters, even Dr. Evil, but they are all at the core dealing with deeply human issues. Austin Powers is more of a bygone era trying to adjust to a whole new world. On top of being well-written, standalone films, the Austin Powers series is full of lampooning, spoof characters, wordplay, innuendo, and sight gags. So stream them over on Google Play, Fandango, or Prime. Number 8, Hot Shots. The Zucker Brothers-esque 1991 spoof of Top Gun, Hot Shots, is directed by co-director of Zucker's comedy classic, Airplane. Hot Shots was a family favorite growing up, and we've always felt it's better than the film it's parodying. Sorry, Top Gun fans. Turns out we weren't far off, as Hot Shots is significantly better reviewed than Tony Scott's 1986 phenomenon, Top Gun. But I digress. Hot Shots stars Charlie Sheen as the lead, the skilled former Air Force pilot, Top Harley. Charlie Sheen has gone off the rails in recent years and has always been problematic. damn, he is a superb comedic actor. He nails his delivery and timing, whatever caliber the material. Hot Shots involves Top, who has quit, suffers from trauma ever since his father's horrible plane accident. His skills, however, are needed for a classified mission. The great thing about Hot Shots is it's thoroughly funny and entertaining, whether you're a fan of Hot Shots or not. I admittedly saw this spoof before I saw Hot Shots, and I can honestly say it is an ingenious parody of Top Gun that you can witness for yourself on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 9. Walk Hard. Only 2 years after the Academy Award-winning hit Johnny Cash biopic, Walk the Line, lit up the silver screen, comedy mogul Judd Apatow released a direct parody called Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. The film parodied the musician biopic subgenre in general. While it primarily took elements from Walk the Line, it also borrows elements from the award-winning film about the life of the brilliant musician Ray Charles, simply titled Ray. Walk Hard wasn't the hit they were hoping for, considering the summer of 2007 had been the summer of Apatow. Within a 2-month period, Mr. Apatow released 2 runaway hits, Knocked Up, which he wrote, produced, and directed, and Superbad, which he produced. Unfortunately, Walk Hard was a theatrical flop even amongst its critical acclaim, grossing a subpar $20 million against $35 million. It did see life in the home market, selling nearly 1 million DVDs in 2008 alone. The film follows the tumultuous fictional life of Dewey Cox as he rose to become an iconic rock star. The genius of Walk Hard is it mostly functions as a legitimate biopic, albeit with some exaggeration. Dewey is played by dramatic actor John C. Reilly, that, at least until Talladega Nights, was most known for starring in the Best Picture musical Chicago. Reilly played the lead fairly straight, although a bit of a buffoon. I appreciate Walk Hard for a little more each time I watch it, or any musician's biopic, and you can stream it on Prime, Google Play, or Fandango. Number 10. Pop Star. 2016's pop star Never Stop Never Stopping was helmed by SNL writer alums Akiva Schaffer and Jorma Taccone, known primarily for their digital shorts. Pop Star is Schaffer and Taccone's second feature film and was met with positive reception. The duo's feature directorial debut was the narratively whack but hilarious Hot Rod. Pop Star follows a pop group called the Style Boys, made up of 3 friends or musicians, Connor, Owen, and Lawrence. They are all played by SNL alum Andy Samberg, as well as the directors Jorma Taccone and Akiva Schaffer, respectively. While all 3 worked on SNL, you may also recognize them as part of Emmy-winning musical parody group The Lonely Island. Unfortunately, Pop Star was also a box office bomb, making a dismal $9 million on a $20 million budget. Musical comedy parodies just can't catch a break. The film has, however, gained a cult following thanks to its streaming numbers. As I'm writing this, Just Watch has it currently ranked at number 32 on the most streamed movies, out of 1.2 million. In the veins of This Is Spinal Tap, Pop Star is a mockumentary spoof of all things pop star related, particularly to boy bands. However, since pop star concert films and documentaries were seeing mainstream success in the late aughts and 2010s, those were ripe for parody, and that's what Pop Star did. So stream this comedic gem on Peacock, Prime, Google Play, or Fandango. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at Studios Fat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. We're also now on Blue Sky. You can find us at studiosfat.bsky.social, which will also link below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. See you in the next one. Thank you.